All right, welcome everyone to Thrive Hive Live, where once a week we're getting together to cover one of the 21 steps to launching your business for solopreneurs who are maybe a little bit stuck on, well, what is the next step? How do I do that? And what are all these things people are talking about? So Thrive Hive is where we demystify kind of what the foundation of building your business is. And we are building community so that we can all support each other along the way. Because I can tell you, my first 3 months building my business was so lonely. And that's part of why I built Thrive Hive. It's like, no, we shouldn't have to do that. We should have our work besties that we can talk to and bounce ideas off of, and something other than ChatGPT or Claude to help move forward. So that's what Thrive Hive is all about. It's about community, it's about support, it's about getting information to the next steps to building your business. And good morning, Patrick. Yes, if you are on the call with us, please drop a note in the comments so we can see who you are. And I'm hoping everybody will drop a little bit of information about who they are, where they are, what their business is, maybe your LinkedIn URL so that you can connect and really have a conversation around this idea of the landing page today. All right, so back to the 21 steps. It's really the nuts and bolts of building your business. There's a lot of different providers out there providing coaching on starting a business that are more mindset and that kind of thing. But what I wanted to provide is a way to get to the nuts and bolts. Well, how do I get my business registered? How do I get my email? And today we're talking about your landing page. So we started a little bit more of a mindset on like, why do you even want to start a business and what is your offer going to be? Because what are you good at? What do you love to do? And what do people need? And how do we build that out as an offer? So that's what Thrive Hive is all about. It's like, okay, well, there's things we have to do. You're great at your craft. That's why you started a business. Doesn't matter if you're a nutritionist, if you're a sales coach, if you're an language instructor, you're great at that. It's all the other stuff that, frankly, is a little bit confusing, especially when you're first starting out. So we're here to support each other and to demystify those steps. All right. So in recent weeks, we really got into the nuts and bolts. We left the kind of the mindset behind and got into, okay, well, let's get the business registered. Let's get our domain name and our email. And today we're talking about our first landing page. Yeah. And I'll just reiterate on comments, like this is your opportunity to build community, share with each other, especially as we talk through building landing page. I'm going to be prompting you to think about like, oh, what is your one-line hook to get people on the page? And so you can share these ideas within the comments and get some real-time feedback and start thinking through what it means for your landing page. All right, see if I've missed anything. Oh, yes, and in the course description, there is a link to the course workbook, to the Thrive Hive Live landing page, and the Thrive Hive landing page as well. I am going to say this one in particular, you might find the course workbook to be a little bit extra help because there is a lot of material, and I'm going to be skimming a little bit more than usual. But not only that, in the back of the workbook, I have a few examples of landing pages that I think you might find helpful, and they're built in different ways. We'll get into this, but like one's actually a Google Doc and one's a Notion page. And then we get into the other types of solutions you can use to build those pages out. So workbook might come in handy this week. So I encourage you to go download that and see if that helps you through this process. And yeah, so we'll start there. All right, speaking of the workbook, I'm going to add it to the stage now. There we go. All right, so why does your first landing page matter? And to me, it is really your first web presence. Like when we think about the 21 steps, hi Randall, when we think about the 21 steps of, okay, well, we got our offer, we started talking about it, we met people, now it's time to get it on the web. And I'll tell you for myself, I spent months, I spent money trying to build out this full-blown website. And that ended up being really slowing me down. And so we're going to start with a landing page, knowing that it serves a purpose and it's different from a website. And we'll get into more details there. But really, we'll talk about that. But both of them do serve one common function, and that's to help to fill your funnel. So we'll talk more about funnels as well. All right. So yeah, we want to get started with something, and a single web page is faster and easier to get out there. And so that is where we will start with our step 8. Now, the first thing you might be wondering is, and I've heard this several times, it's like, well, I have my LinkedIn page, I have my Facebook page. Do I really need a website in addition to that? And there's a lot of reasons to consider that maybe that is best for you. One of the things to consider is that if you're relying on your LinkedIn business page or your Facebook business page, you're kind of beholden to the features and functions of those pages. You are a slave to the algorithm on how it feeds information. When you have your own landing page, you set the rules and you control the communications. Hi, Cheryl. So that's why, thinking about getting out of social media has your main presence and at least have a place where you can control what happens, which is hugely beneficial. And so really, our social media sites, they're kind of like rented space, or you can think about a farmer's market. Like if I get a booth at the farmer's market, I have control, but only from, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Thursday through Sunday or whatever that is. And that's what you're confined to. But when you have your own landing page, now you get to make up the rules and you get to do things a little bit your own way. So, first question, like, why do I even care? And that's kind of the long and the short of it there. Yeah. Oh, I'm skimming through this fast. So when you're thinking about social media as your site, there's a couple things I want you to think about, like when you're considering, I need a landing page or website or not. When you do your own buying, if you see an ad, maybe it's on Instagram or Facebook, LinkedIn, any of them, do you automatically buy from that ad? Or do you do a little extra research? I know one of the things I do is I go look for a website, I go look for reviews, I go look for something to validate that this is a real offer, a real person, a real serious endeavor. And so having your own landing page is one way to get that behind what you're offering. Also, where do you find people, or how do they find you? And if somebody wanted to learn more about you or your business and all they had was your Facebook page or your LinkedIn page or your Instagram, how would they learn more about you? And so that's where having a landing page and later on down the road, a website really benefits you. All right, reading Patrick's comments. Landing page, you know what? I have never tried this before. Let's see. There we go. Landing page should be looked at as a dynamic website. It shouldn't change too frequently. Should not be looked at as a one and done event. You want to review it and update it every 6 months. Because it's about our current offers. And so it needs to be current. It needs to be relevant. If it's something you're not going to offer anymore, then it's probably going to not be part of our web presence any longer, because we're going to pivot, we're going to iterate, we're going to grow, we're going to offer new things. All right, so moving on to 5. So that's why we want this web presence outside of social media. And we're starting with landing page. And the reason I wanted to start with landing pages, there's a couple. One is because a landing page you can stand up pretty quickly. And as we look at the 21 steps, we started with why we're building a business, our offer, starting to talk about it. And a landing page is a really quick way to get something out there public that really reinforces those offer or your early discussions to prove what your potential clients need. Now, a website has a lot going on to it, and that was the mistake I made. It's like, okay, well, I got my home page and I got my about, and I have a blog. I have to do a couple blog things out there. I have to do some FAQ, and that takes time. And one of the biggest challenges I had was I spent all that time, and then when I had it reviewed by my marketing strategist, hi, Randall, guess what? I had a lot of stuff to change. So really, I had wasted a bunch of time through that process, where a landing page, I could have been focused on like, okay, let's see how this offer floats through a landing page. So let me talk about the difference. A landing page is single purpose. It is one thing, one offer, one action you want them to take, and you don't let them escape to other places so they don't get distracted. A website is more your entire business ecosystem, where they can learn, find testimonials and, find the FAQ and what else do you offer and all of those things, more about her educational background, whatever it is. But people lose focus and it's harder to convert. So it's really about conversion. And what we mean by conversion is when somebody lands on the page, how do we get them to take the next step? So there's a lot of different thoughts and feelings and stuff out there about conversion and landing pages and web pages. But what I've seen and experienced for myself is, yes, when there's a single focus page, a landing page, it is better for conveying that one message and getting that one action that you're hoping for. Whereas a website is just all the other things. Both are useful. Both are needed. Like the bigger your business gets, the more complex it gets. You will need a full-blown website. But at this point, we're like, okay, let's start with the landing page and move on from there. And as I mentioned earlier, both of them, feed your funnel. And when you hear the word funnel, basically we're saying that people that are starting to enter into a relationship to learn more about you and your business. And so these are the people that you'll have the opportunity to get to know their problems better. You'll get to be able to share kind of solutions and potentially, hopefully, sell to down the road. Now, I don't want you to think just because somebody landed at the top of your funnel that you need to do cold pitches on them right away. That rarely ever works very well. But just want you to understand, the purpose of all of our interactions is to get people to start to engage with that. And in the terms of what we're talking about here, that's really the top of the funnel, getting that engagement, building that relationship so that you can do something down the road. All right. Where am I? So when you're thinking about your landing page, again, you're trying to get them to one action that they can take at the end. And so I want you to think for just a second, if somebody landed on my landing page today for whatever your current offer is, or just something that's out there, what do I really want them to do? And I'm going to try to be quiet for a few seconds and see if I can get a couple of comments on what do you want people to do when they get through your landing page? When they land there, they start reading, hopefully they stay on the page. What do they do next? Thank you, Patrick, on the compliment on my descriptions. All right, while we're waiting for some comments, I'll share a couple things that I've considered as I'm building out landing pages. Do I want them to buy my thing? Ultimately, but if they might be more into buying my thing if they talk to me first, maybe I want them to book a call. Or maybe they're more likely to buy my thing if they get a free gift. So maybe that's what it is. And so ultimately, yes, we hope they buy our thing, but it's how are you going to get them to the next step so that they can know, like, and trust you. And once they know, like, and trust you, then they're more likely to buy. So when you're thinking about your landing page and the ultimate call to action, the thing you want them to do that says they're fully engaged with what you're trying to sell, thinking about, okay, well, what's the next step to get to sale? Because if you go straight to sale, your conversion rate is going to be really low. It's going to be hard to get anybody there. So it might be book a call. It might be have them download a lead magnet, which is a different step down the road, whatever it is. But just thinking through the process of sales and what's the next thing you need to do to know, like, and trust you so that they will buy down the road. Yeah, so Cheryl's like, ideally want them to contact me one way or another. Patrick, or get them to review something that might guide them to the next step of their journey of buying. So that is really what it's all about here, is getting them to the next step. Because, and I've shared this in Thrive Hive before, we think build it and they will come, or build it and they will buy, but that's not the truth. It takes time, it takes engagement, it takes a lot of effort to get them to that next step so that they can get to the point that they buy. All right, so next up, we're going to skip that one. We're going to move ahead to what makes a great landing page. And it's really an art, and it almost, I don't know if it's sacrilegious to say, it almost acts like a social media post in a way, because you got to start with the hook. Like, you have to capture their attention. So we'll go through this really quickly, and then I'll dig into just a couple of the areas. So your great landing page, there's going to be a hook, which means the thing at the top of the page that makes them stop scrolling and go, ooh, that's me. That's what I need. I have to read this page now. That's our hook. And so starting with that strong hook. And then we need to get into what is the problem that they're facing and the impact of solving that problem. Now you've really got their attention, like, oh, that hook, that sounds like me. And yes, that is my problem. And I want to solve it because it's going to make my life better. And then we can get into more things as like, oh, we have an offer that will help them get from problem to solution. There might be some testimonials, like one clear call to action. I've already talked about that quite a bit. But we're trying to keep the page thin. We're trying to keep them on that conversation. And so we're not going to do a lot of our education or why we're the right person. Like, no, how are you going to solve my problem? You've identified it. You got me in with the hook and you kept me by saying you understand my problem. Just get me to what does success look like and, how do we move forward with that? And so that becomes kind of the critical piece to building out this landing page. And there's a lot of different kind of like frameworks out there. I'll give you one framework. The AI tools these days are getting pretty good at like build it for me, and then they'll give you a pretty good destination to go. If you use something that is specifically built with neuroscience in mind, such as Ask Alex, then you can get some pretty great stuff that understands the idea of the landing pages. Yes, we need the hook. We need them to understand that we understand their problem and we can solve it and what those next steps are. All right. So let me go to page 10 on the viewer version that I can read. So we talked about this a little bit in step 3 because it's really related to your elevator pitch. And rarely is it good to say, and I'll use the one I always use, I'm a bookkeeper. Okay, that's nice. But when I say something such as, I give solopreneurs the tools they need so they can get their finances into reports that make sense at a low cost. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, wait, you do what? Okay. And so it's the same idea here that we need to really, hook them with something that is going to speak with them, resonate to stop the scroll. So, welcome to my page. I'm a bookkeeper, not very good. Or, and you'll see this in some of the examples later, you've just started your business to do the work you love, not to spend Sunday nights in receipts. Yeah, that's me. And so that's how we really want to dig in and build that hook just a little bit better to stop the scroll, to help them understand that what follows is going to be something that helps them. Let's see, check Randall. We'll show somebody. There we go. So keep in mind what drew them to the page to begin with. Was it an ad, a post, or an offer? And then start the conversation off there. And that's a great point too, because if they clicked an ad or clicked a post and then our landing page has nothing to do with it, it's going to be a lot harder to get to know, like, and trust, because now they don't trust what drove them there. So thank you for that insight. Oh, see, we're 8 lessons in. I'm learning how to use these comment thingies. We'll have to do that more often. All right. So then getting to the problem and impact as well. And I gave, a pretty decent example of that. And what you're trying to convey is, I understand your problem and I understand what success looks like, and I can bring you relief. I can bring you better. I can do. And so we really want to hook them in with, what does that look like? So once you have that hook, they know who you are and that you know who they are, and then they have a good understanding of your comprehension of the problem, and they agree, and those next steps. Now we can start to dig in a little bit more. Let's see. Always start off a new conversation where you left them in the last conversation. Brilliant. Yes, we don't want to leave anybody behind. All right. So we'll skip over some of this a little bit. I don't want this to turn into a 45-minute thing. So we're doing a lot more skimming today than usual. Oh, but I did want to stop on call to action. And we did touch on that briefly. There we go. So one clear call to action. What is the next step to get them to know, like, and trust you? What is the next step for them to understand how you're going to solve their problem, or that you even can? and making sure that we're very specific on that. I have a tendency of way too many options. Okay, you can do. And I've learned it's like, yes, I would love for them to do all those things, but the next thing I want to do is if it's bookkeeping, it's probably give me a call. If it's Thrive Hive, it's either give me a call or maybe a free trial. But what is that thing that I believe and that I've proved with other potential clients gets them to the next step? All right, so that's kind of the contents of our landing page. And I'm moving quite quickly. Something I'm good at. So how do you get a landing page up? Is it hard? Is it technical? Do I need coding skills? A lot of great questions for a new solopreneur who doesn't come from the tech space to ask. And the good news is it's technically not a huge lift in most cases. In fact, I was recently sent a landing page that was a Google Doc. More also recently, I was sent a landing page that was a Notion doc, and it looked like a lot of effort to get that Notion to look like a great landing page, but Patrick Santamaria did it. And so you'll see that later on. And so you don't have to know HTML. You don't have to have coding skills. There's ways to get it out there. And last week we talked about your domain. So most of these solutions will have a way to say, take the domain that you set up in step 7 and apply it to this page. And so there's always instructions, there's always support. If not, there's always AI that can help you get through that process. So as far as, again, Google Docs or Notion, a perfectly viable way to go to get something up quickly, especially if you're in early, like, let's prove it stages. Because again, I'm all about like, let's experiment, get feedback quickly, and then do something more permanent. So if that means not having a full-blown website, but using something like Google Docs or Notion, totally appropriate, because it's more about what's on the page than it is how you actually display it to them. I haven't played with this one yet, but I'm hearing really good things about Card.co. Their website says that you can do a landing page free. I'm guessing that's probably true, but I'm also guessing that if you're going to want the right fonts or colors or features, you're going to end up paying a little bit. But I'm guessing it's way cheaper than getting a WordPress site or whatever. So if that's an option that's worth checking out. Or what's your tech stack already? Like I use HubSpot for a lot of CRM, and it turns out it builds brilliant landing pages quite easily. Same with Go High Level. I use Go High Level for my Thrive Hive community. And so I have 2 different solutions in my pocket already. And maybe if we're just starting out, we don't know what that solution is down the road, but it can help us choose how our tech stack for our business. So tech stack being, what are the technical tools I need to support my business? And oftentimes the reason I use HubSpot is because it covers a lot of my tech needs. And so like one solution, a lot of different things. So we can think about that as we're thinking about, okay, what technical solutions do I need to support my business? And then which of those tools support many different needs so that we can get kind of a cost benefit of one size fits all. And then there's just web building sites as well. So whether it be GoDaddy, Squarespace, so WordPress, Bluehost, whatever it is, these are things that can help you get a landing page. But I will say these solutions such as HubSpot and Go High Level, they make it really easy so that tech skills not needed. They provide the support so you can get your domain hooked up. That's drag and drop things so that you can get the page looking kind of pretty. And yeah, great way to get going. Yes, doing something to get started is better than waiting to create the ideal landing page. Absolutely. All right. So as far as the landing page, now I do love to provide some AI prompts here, and I hinted at that there's some tools out there to help you. So you can start with, I'm doing my first landing page. Your AI probably knows your business by now, but you can give a little bit more information. My offer is this to solve this, and this is what my ideal client looks like. I want to make sure that they schedule time with me so I can talk more about my solution, or I want them to download the thing. And it will build out some pretty decent copy for you. Now, my own stance on AI is if you're good at prompting, you're good at using it, AI will generally get you about 80% of the way there. But talking to real people who are experts in that area will get you to the extra 20% to 100%. So that's my approach to AI. It's like it gets me to really good, and then now I can dig in to figure out how to get to even better. So yeah, in this prompt, I'm building my first page. I help these people who are struggling with this problem. When we work together, this is what becomes possible. My call to action, write me a simple, warm landing page. Cool. So I'm going to get into a little bit of resources, and then we'll look at some examples. I really did fly through here. Okay, so additional resources, next page. Sorry, bear with me here. So I mentioned the Card CO, and if anybody has used that and has some experience and they want to share with me how they felt about it, I'd love to hear more. I'll probably end up doing my own little pilot page of something next time I need a landing page just to check it out. But it's nice to know that there's solutions out there to make it easy for folks to take this step. Notion, so mention that one. There is a free version, but as with most software solutions, the free version might disappoint you and you end up paying a little bit more. And then the Squarespace, GoDaddy, all those kinds of guys. Go High Level and HubSpot are both CRMs that have web page development ingrained with them as well. Now, when you're thinking about your landing page, and this is something I learned from Mr. Randall, is try to understand what people who might want your offer are asking so that you can answer it in that page. And so one of the ways that you can do that is to go to Google. And if you go a little bit down the page, you'll see this questions people are asking. And then that will help prompt you for additional information that might help you get people to that next step. Or Perplexity is another good tool to kind of understand what are people asking and what are the steps they're taking to get to the next thing. And then I wanted to put on here as well, Ask Alex. This is Patrick Seaton, who is in the room, his little tool. And they recently stood up a brand new website. And on the landing page, there's a free website checker. So you can actually go to askalex.coach, scroll down to, I think it's the free website auditor, put in a screenshot of what you're working on and get feedback real time. And the brilliance of Ask Alex is it's based on sales neuroscience. So it's not just this is what we think sounds good, but based on years of study of understanding neuroscience, especially how it applies to sales. Here is what's going to get you to that next spot. And Patrick, I think, will probably put something in the comments for us to kind of help make that story better than I can. But it was just great timing that this week it's like, hey, I now have a new free website auditor on this page. Great, I'm talking about websites and or landing pages. Let's put those together. All right, and then when it comes to getting the pages up, getting the domains connected, all of that stuff, the support of whatever service you're using should help. ChatGPT will help, or reach out to me and I'll find you somebody who can help because there's a lot of help out there. All right, now I did mention that in the appendix, there are some examples, but I'm going to go ahead and pull up a few landing pages so we can kind of see what's there, what's making them helpful. And yeah, let's do that. So let's take you off the stage. Let's add, oops. There we go. All right, so this first one, it's kind of part landing page, part lead magnet, but this is Michaela Kielce, and that's how I got to it. It's like, ooh, a 6-figure plateau diagnostic, I want that. And so I came in here and I'm like, this looks like a really nice landing page, but this is Google Docs. That's it. Just Google Docs, but it does everything she needs to do. Kind of let you know how it's going to work. Some quotes to kind of help you stop and go, ooh, breaking 6 figures isn't a motivation or marketing problem. It's a business engine problem. Please tell me more. And then starting to get into more of the solution. So this is one example. It's like, yeah, Google Docs can be your landing page. All right, here's my favorite. This is the Notion page. This does not look like a Notion page. Sorry, I'm not at the top where I belong. I think this is fantastic. I've played with Notion quite a bit. I can never get it looking this good. But Patrick, another Patrick, Santabria, is, build your camera confidence cohort. So he's starting a cohort where he is coaching people for camera confidence. If you're not following him on LinkedIn, I recommend giving him a follow. Or if you just pull up this landing page that's in Notion, you'll find a video right here for yourself. All right, so that's that. So yeah, this is in Notion, perfectly acceptable landing page. He gets to the call to action as we go down, talks about results, pricing, one thing, how to join. So there we go. All right, now I'll pick on my own. So my bookkeeping landing page, I'll laugh because I think Randall can attest to this too. When we first started working together, I just had my web page, and there's a lot of information happening there. When there's a lot of information, it's hard for people to find what they need so that they know to hire you. That's why a landing page is a powerful tool to be like, oh, ditch the spreadsheet and gain financial clarity in minutes, not hours. Okay, like I'm hooked. And now we can start getting into, most solopreneurs spend hours wrestling with spreadsheets only to end up confused. Now we're getting into the problem and what we do to fix it. And then my call to action is kind of sprinkled throughout here. So if they bail early, like they can still let's get on a call and figure out what solution is going to make sense for you. And this one was done in HubSpot, and it was all drag and drop kind of stuff, not anything too terribly technical that I needed to do. And then Thrive Hive. So this one, very similar story. I think as far as the language and the approach, it's very similar to the bookkeeping, but more specific to Thrive Hive. So our hook, building a business alone is hard. Is there anybody here who would dispute that building a business alone is hard? It is. And whether you're Googling how to do taxes at midnight or anything else, we're spending a lot of time like trying to figure out like what is that next thing I need for this business to be fully viable. And so, starting again to get into like, what is Thrive Hive? How do we get you to the other side? What is the call to action? And in this case, it's join the free trial. To me, I think that's the best, kind of the best next step. It's like I could talk to you, or you could just join free for 45 days and decide if you like it or not. So which is cool because I often forget to bring this up in the Thrive Hive Lives, but now that I built it into this session, that is for all of you as well. If you want to learn more about the courses in the community, join our free trial. You'll learn a lot more beyond just these live sessions. And then Card, this is the site I mentioned where they're simple, free, fully responsive, one-page sites for pretty much anything. And so we'll use their landing page as an example. And if you're just getting started out, this might be a place to just go play around for a while. Yeah. All right, so I did a pretty good job of skimming through that to stick to about my 30 minutes. So I guess I'll leave it at that. I'll hang out here for a few minutes in case there's any questions. But yeah, I'd say, get started on those landing pages. The other thing you can do is, craft them in Word and then get them to something else down the road, or Google Docs, I should say. Leverage your AI to help you kind of fine tune it and make sure that you're meeting the intent of the landing page. One thing you could do if you download the course workbook, feed that into your AI, say, okay, this is what I'm trying to follow. Here's my draft landing page. How well am I doing? So a lot of opportunity to kind of build it. And of course, the Ask Alex page auditor is another place to go to. Or if you're in the Thrive Hive community, one of the things we do there is like, hey, can somebody take a look at this and let me know how we're doing? Or if you've been to our Thrive Hive live sessions before, we're doing that in the comments quite a bit as well. So there's always opportunity, come next week and ask your question, and the folks in the room will help support you in that. So with that, I think that is it for our landing page. Next week, we're going to talk about building out your email list. And your first question, do I need an email list? We'll talk about the advantages, and then you can decide for yourself. So that will be our discussion next week. And with that, I'm going to thank you all for joining again. I hope you have a chance to download the course workbook, take a look at some of these samples. If there's any landing page you want me to look at, just shoot me a DM or a note, and I'm happy to take a look myself. And I look forward to seeing how these all come together. And yeah, Patrick's providing more information on Ask Alex. So yay. All right, that's it. Thank you all for coming. I enjoyed the time together.